Hello Tarot fans, welcome to another edition of Blue Sicx Tarot. I'm your fantastic host Blue Sicx, and this is Forecast Friday. Now, I was actually going to do a review of my latest tarot that I got, that arrived, but someone decided to take it for themselves. I'm afraid that's right, Blue. I've taken your Green Room, your Occult Tarot, and your Goethe Tarot as well. I'll be doing a reshuffle of those, so, you know, if you want to give those a look, check out my channel. Git. But anyway, so we're going to do our normal forecast instead, and so we'll be using the lovely Star Spinner Tarot. Now I think my most recent video was using these, so I'm actually going to put these into practice. I do apologise to anyone who's been following me on the social medias. I've not actually been posting this week. No real reason, it's just I've not really had the motivation to kind of to do a card a day, but I'm still able to do our little weekly reading, so that's something. So that's something at the moment, I'm afraid. So we're just going to do our nice weekly forecast and to see how this goes. So I just got to set read there. Right, so for Monday we are looking at the Two of Pentacles. Lovely artwork there. So on Monday, it's basically decision time. You start off the day kind of having, it's a priority. It's more about priorities. And as I've said before with the two, it's usually, here's what I want to do, here's what I should do. You always try and find, and we always try and find excuses to prioritise the things we want to do rather than the things that we know we should. And so this is kind of like making sure your priorities are correct, but at the same time still allowing yourself to do bits of the other, so you are still able to do both, but it's like do one in the morning, and when there's time left, do the other one afterwards with the spare time, focusing more your concentration on the more important one, but still allowing yourself to do the other. So for Tuesday, we have the Page of Cups. Is it Cups? Chalices, sorry. And I'm going to let that focus in a bit. There we are. So, Tuesday is about indulging your curiosity and kind of wanting to kind of learn what's going on around you. And now, obviously, depending on your environment, of course, if you're in a situation such as myself, where thankfully I'm still able to go out and go into my workplace and or kind of work more on my cards or my second channel, for example. So this is more about looking. So this is more about indulging your curiosities and trying to learn more about what's going on around you. Not necessarily because you're ignorant of what's going on, but more of it. It's more about just having a better idea or trying to improve what you know, rather than trying to learn new things. So Wednesday, we have the Eight of Coins. I do like the Eight of Coins in this one. So yeah, I always find these quite strange. So when decks tend to call one part chalices, the coins tend to be pentacles. But I always find it weird where the deck has chalices and coins. But you know, that's just me. So with the 8 on Wednesday, that's looking about focus. That's once again focusing on perfecting your one skill, the thing that needs to be improved on, to not to a perfectionist degree, but sitting down and like, right, I need to knuckle down and get this one thing done, and I need to get it right. So once again, that sort of thing can be a stressful thing, especially on a Wednesday, as it's the middle of the week, and a lot of those days tend to be a bit more belaboured. tend to be a bit more labour intensive. But this is more of a focusing on your one thing and honing that skill. So for Thursday, we have the 9 of coins. Hang on, let it focus. So the 9 is having good comfort in what you have. It's you have all that you have all that you need, but not all that you want. But this is kind of like this is more about, rather than just feeling physically comfortable. I know I can. I can afford to buy food. I can indulge a bit, but this is more about feeling comfort in your surroundings, and just kind of comfort in that you know that you have support that's needed, and that you basically want for nothing. And it's a kind of, but not in the emotional way as we have with the chalices, but more kind of it is more like financial stability and the stuff that's the non-physical stuff that's still important that you have. You know, you still have you still have your friends, loved ones, stuff like that. But then at the same time, you still have a roof. You still have. So this is less about the modern comforts and just more of the general security and well-being in a kind of in a sense of mental health as well. So for Friday, we have the 8 of Swords. So we're looking at very high. So we start off the week with very low numbers, and then we hit straight high. So for Friday, it's looking like that you're kind of stuck in a particular scenario, and it's nothing that you can necessarily feel a way out of. However, a lot of the time, when you're in the scenario, it's very hard to see your way out. But when you're on the outside looking in, it's a lot easier. It's kind of like it's kind of like a maze. When you're in the maze, all you can see are walls and no exit. But if you're above the maze, you can see the entire layout. So it's basically that sort of scenario of you're kind of stuck in a position. However, the position is actually easier to navigate than you think, but it's just harder because you're in it. So in that sort of case, on Friday, it's a day where you're allowed to ask for help, because there's nothing wrong in asking help. So Saturday, we have the 4 of Swords. And so Saturday being a nice weekend day, we're still looking at, considering what's happening earlier in the week, Saturday is your day of rest. Just take some time. Saturday is a day where it's okay to just take some time out for yourself. Not even necessarily have to do anything. Watch your Netflix, watch your Shudder. I recommend the new Shudder app, by the way. No, I'm not being sponsored. That would be amazing if it was. But if you like your horror films, watch Shudder. But yeah, so Saturday is a day where it's just fine to take some time out and rest, chill, meditate, do just a bit of reflection within yourself. And Sunday, we are looking at the Knight of Chalices. So this is a card where your Sunday is kind of, to quote Star Wars, search your feelings. Kind of look at yourself and examine how you feel about kind of where you are. Because you might find yourself in the position where you're actually a lot happier than you realise, or you're in a situation where you're not as happy as you think you are. Now, neither of those are good or bad, but it's just more of about self-reflection, but on how you feel about things and on an emotional level. Sit back and kind of really reflect on how things make you feel, because sometimes we can miss out on the certain aspects of our day-to-day and not really notice how we actually react to things like that. Especially going back to what happened Friday, in the concept of being stuck in a situation and not quite knowing how to get out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have an 8th card, which is going to be the base card or the root card. A base card, the root card, is after you shuffle, it's the card that sits at the bottom of the deck. See, we've learnt something. And so the main root of the week is the Hierophant. Look at him there with his hierophantic beard. So the Hierophant represents like basically the establishment, the traditions, the way things always do. And so this kind of reflects a lot of the things for the week, where you're basically, some of these things are scenarios you've been in before, where you're trying to just eke out, you're just kind of doing your stuff day to day, not necessarily realising what you have. And this week, with the Hierophant as the root of the week, it might be a time where you do what needs to be done because you do your base needs and the things that need to be done, but outside of that, try and break out, try and buck the trend, try and do things that aren't necessarily as part of your routine. Break up your routine a bit. Once again, going back with the Knight of Chalices, if you're sitting down and reflecting on your own emotional state and how certain things are making you feel, it might be a situation where you're just doing the same thing over and it's not as fulfilling as it used to be. So your Hierophant is basically saying that you might need to break away from your tradition and your routine, shake it up a bit. So that's the reading for the week. I did get a couple of nice positive feedbacks about doing seven cards. If you do like this setup with the 7 cards, or even now the 8th card, let me know what you think. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. See you next week, and I'll catch you on the flip side.